2-0 shakes off the non-call.
Let's skip ahead to the second period here. Minnesota trying to answer, and they'll do just that. It's Kendall Coyne-Schofield on the tip in front.
Same play as the first one. It's Batherson again. This time she rockets another one up high, but Coyne-Schofield keeps the stick down, tips it past the goaltender. Great.
Getting in on the forecheck, creating turnovers. This one over to Jamie Lee Rattray to Shopsall, and she finds the back of the net. Nice little line goal. Hannah Brandt gets involved as well. And then the jailbreak. Alina Mueller, she's just been red hot for this team over the last 8 games. She finds the back of the net to put her team up 2-0.
Third period, still tied at 1. Kelly Panic working in, an initial save made by Schroeder, but it comes out to Channel Watkins, who blasts it in.
A lot of plays off the post tonight. That one went Minnesota's way. Great play by Channel, great read.
And this is the chaotic goal you were talking about, with 61 seconds to go in regular.
Who would strike first as Britta Curl would find a way to get in front of the net on this one. She feeds the pass up ahead. Claire Thompson finds some open space in the circle and then dishes it in off Curl, who is credited with the goal to give Minnesota that 1-0 lead. It kind of felt at that point like maybe Minnesota was going to turn the tables on Montreal. Their chance to get an early lead and an early opportunity in this game to turn the momentum. But Montreal would find a way to battle back here and put something on the board, as well as this shot comes through from Keppel. We thought maybe it deflected on the way in. The goal officially Keppel's goal. Finds play past Maddie Rooney, and that ties the game up.
No, it's going to be potent, and they don't just get on the board once in this power play, but they're able to get on the board twice, and they walk right in on a 5-on-3 that had just expired to a 5-on-4. Jessie Eldridge is able to pick this puck up, trying to go cross crease. It doesn't get there, off Savalainen, back to Eldridge, and she puts it in the net. She has been really good for this team all season. It's all the little things she does. Watch her shield the puck, use her edges. Her skating is some of the best in the world. Her physical play, taking the body, shutting down play. We saw that a number of times for her. Some really good matchups against Kendall Coyne-Schofield. And then the long stretch pass she makes here. So good heads-up play with the puck, but ultimately it's her in overtime, taking advantage of the one mistake Minnesota makes, picking off this pass, going in all alone, forehand, backhand, seals the deal for Toronto to give them their first overtime win of the season.
You're not a fast, just the second Toronto. But as I mentioned, it didn't come easy.
No, it didn't, but I guess we shouldn't be surprised either that Toronto was able to take advantage on the advantage.
Well, we thought this 5-minute power play would maybe be the turning point in this game, and it wasn't the turning point in the way you might expect, but it did turn the tide in the sense that it got Toronto that first goal in the game, got them back into it. Malte with the power play goal makes Minnesota pay for the 5-minute major, and then Toronto would get back to work in the third period, all tied up at 1. A chaotic play out front. Skamura finds Comfer alone in the slot. Maddie Rooney, not a prayer on that one, had overcommitted on the side of the net to try to make the save, and that left Comfer a game.
Zone time, they put all sorts of pucks on net. It was Ottawa that got on the board first. Savalainen teased this one up, her first goal of her PWHL career. Then it's all Toronto after that, but they just could not figure a way past Emmerich Mashmeyer. They had some posts, they had some near misses. It took them a long time into this game to finally break through. All sorts of scrambles in front, but it's ultimately on the power play, Hannah Miller, that finally solves the problem. Unfortunately, it's just not enough. Jinsey Rose comes down the ice near the end of this period, and she puts the game winner. The jailbreak goal. These ones are backbreakers. She turns on the jet. She's in all alone, head up, and she goes 5-0 to put her team up 2-1. The insurance marker comes a little bit later on, and it's a defender who gets their first goal. She walks the seam, she takes a look, she fires, gets a little help from a tip on a stick, but this one goes top shelf to make it 3-1, and that's how the game stood.
First regulation win at home on the season, and a big 3 points.
And it still didn't matter, and the next player stood up, and so a newly acquired player in Bach moves the puck over to Sergdakny, who did an excellent job driving the net. They're able to celebrate a huge goal, and so the next one was just a nice little bounce, a fortuitous bounce off the ref's skate to Cheyenne Darkangelo, who's been on a heater with her third goal of the season so far. And then the last one, as Emily Clark, an absolute highlight reel goal inside out the defensewoman's stick of Shelton, and beautiful
And they go toe-to-toe. Benisheva, Jill Saulnier sticks down. Fists are flying. We're going to spend a little bit of time in the penalty box after this. And that just started the period for Benisheva. Got the crowd going, got both teams into it. She gets this assist. Nice pass from Lucas down the line and gives her team a little bit of energy and brings it back into this game. Then in the dying seconds, off of a face-off win, Benisheva gets this pass, steps in, and roofs the puck to send this one to overtime.
Saves in a PWHL game with 34, lights out from the jump, and she really made sure that New York couldn't capitalize on their chances.
Well, if you're going to freewheel a bit and play hard and send everything north, you're going to give up some rushes with numbers. You're going to give up some great chances. And when you have a goaltender like Mashmeyer, you can afford to play a little loose at times because you know that she's going to give you the big stops. She was good on her rebound. She was good on the second chances. Her athleticism is tremendous. And the key to her game, in my opinion, is how good.
25 total saves, but Gigi, the degree of difficulty on these are really what's impressive. New York had a ton of breakaway chances.
They did. New York was able to get behind the defense of the Fleet. Maybe more often than they would have hoped for, but Frankel stood so tall. There was one breakaway, there's another on Jaguar, and she just held on to the puck. She didn't let up too many big rebounds, and she was just tight as she moved from side to side. Her ability to track the puck, her ability to follow and know when the next play was
on with the first goal of the game for Toronto. And she's been so good as of late. Didn't have any points in the last game against Boston, but nets a goal here to get the scoring started in Edmonton. Just finds that open ice, dances into the slot, and fires one home to beat Mashmeyer for the first time here this afternoon. But that wouldn't be all. 3-on-3 overtime hockey. Watts would dance this around the net and tuck it home past Mashmeyer for the second time here tonight. 2 goals on the game. Had so many opportunities.
Ahead to the second because things escalated quickly. Less than 3 minutes into the second, it's Nora Toulouche with her first PWHL goal.
And then after a really nice home run pass, airmail by Zandy Hart, New York's able to capitalize on a quick rebound here. They went on the power play. They were efficient there too. Abby Rock in her office in front of the net, causing all kinds of trouble. And they got on another one where they were able to once again get a second look and drill one home for a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, that was the
contribute to their team, and so this first goal was just gorgeous. Jamie Lee Rattray picks the puck up off a turnover, bides time, waits, fakes the forehand, brings it to her backhand, able to bury it just for the 1-goal lead. And then this one pinballs off a couple people, but Cheyenne D'Arcangelo actually gets her first career goal in the PWHL. And this one, as Sophie Shirley wheels around the net, rookie Shea Maloney gets her first of the season and of her career in the PWHL, and so a lot.
Pucks on net, 37 saves. And Toronto, who had shots from all over, they had traffic in front, they had point-blank opportunities, they had chances in the slot. Mashmeyer had to be good all night. She was out, she was athletic, she was acrobatic, she did everything she needed to do to give her team the chance to win. And that's what it's all about as a goaltender. Can you give your team the chance to win? She did just
start this game. And Toronto came back. They did things right on the defensive side of the ice, which helped them do things right on the offensive side of the ice. And they clogged up lanes. They got sticks in lanes. They were able to break plays up. And Ottawa moved the puck very efficiently in that first period. It's one of the things I like most about their game. And then all of a sudden, Toronto just started to play better defensively. There was not as much open space in the ice for Ottawa to move around, and their jobs got a lot harder on the offensive.
Last 2 games, this is where all their offense is coming from. They're finding different ways to score when they get the player advantage as well. They're getting their shots through to the net. They're getting traffic on net, getting those shots off quickly, and it's giving them the opportunity to score. Like I said, all their offense coming on the player advantage. It's been dangerous. You do not want to take penalties against this team right now.
How was Hannah Miller on the power play, her 7th of the season?
And you get the puck to Nider in the middle of the ice, and she brings this one off the post, but it stays out. 2-on-1 going back the other way for Montreal. They get a great chance. The breakaway, Rattray denied, and it isn't until they get that top line back on the ice. And there's Laura Stacey selling out, diving, puts this one into the net to give her team the overtime win.
2-zip lead.
She kind of got a couple of gifts. The first one is here on this long pass that hits the skate, and now she is off to the races, and not many players are going to slow her down. And she sneaks one through the wickets of Abigail Levy for that. Then on a dump in, Levy thinks that she might want to go forehand, can't because Cobb is in the way, throws it up the wall, and Coyne Schofield is there to bang that one home, so it was 2-0.
Two different goal scorers for Minnesota in overtime this last week. This time it's Taylor Heisey with her second of the season, rips it home past Emma Soderberg, right under the arm blocker side, and you can see the Selly from the bench feeling good about the overtime victory. And how good does Taylor Heisey have to feel finally getting back in the scoring column? Hasn't been feeling well the last couple of weeks, along with many.
McMahon gets it started. Catches Hansley looking the other way as she snipes this one to make it 1-0 Ottawa, and then they get a jailbreak goal. First of the season, Gabby Hughes waiting in the weeds out in the neutral zone, picks up this puck in all alone and snipes that one as well. Now Minnesota comes back, makes it 2-2. It's the second period for this Ottawa team. Gabby Hughes with her second on the night as she picks up that one. Then it's the Teresa Venisheva show. She gets one snipe and then back down the ice for a second in what will eventually be a hat trick for her. Picks up the garbage and puts that one in the goal. And Victoria Bach, who joins the party as well. Nice quick transition. Victoria Bach with some skill pulls this one in, and she snipes top shelf as well. What a second period for this team. They're not done. They add a couple more, and a big one here on the power play. Brianne Jenner, beauty one-timer off the flank. And then it is goal number 8, tic-tac-toe. Teresa Venisheva, there's the Hattie and the 8.
People, so many different players as well, and this first goal got going with the forecheck as Claire DeGeorge ends up getting the puck back. Notice her footwork. Spins and cuts away from Ella Shelton. Feeds it out to her lineman, Youngblom, who buries it for the first goal of the game. And they just continue. The speed of Gardner pushes the defenders back. No one can touch Boulier as she comes in. She finds a wide open Abigail Goreen for a nice goal to get her team up 2. And again, this was one of my favorites. D to D. And who does Kayla Barnes find? Her D partner, who's in the slot for a gorgeous tap-in backdoor in this last one. Another forecheck pressure by Claire DeGeorge, who had a solid night. Boulier's up top, waits for the shot, and Youngblom.
When you haven't been able to score like Minnesota has, and they got started early. Manny Rooney talked about it in the post-game interview about that fast start. Ken Klee, we talked to him before the game. He said that's when we're our best, is when we come out swinging. And Kendall Coyne Schofield, the captain, one of the best scorers on this team this season, got it started, and then Minnesota would get right back to work here. And to me, this is the most impressive goal of the entire night. The pass from low to high, the shot comes through, and McQuigg, not to be denied, finds the back of the net from her stomach, swinging that backhander into the back of the net to make it 2-0 Minnesota, and then they would tally one more before that first period was over. This time Kendall Coyne Schofield would feed the pass. Shishaba kind of fans on it there at the net front, but still.
Game, she is so fun to watch, and so you see her battle with the puck on the boards. Watch her settle the puck down, whip it across the ice to Lena Mueller. And then on the power play, she goes to work. Net front, she's great at redirections. She easily tips that past Osborne. Good gap in the neutral zone leads to a breakaway. Where does she go? Far corner, bar down, beautiful spot. And here's a look at Toppany's goal to make it 4-2. And it finishes with the net wide open. Hillary tries to bury it, but she wanted her teammates, I think, to each get a point and touch it as well. So Hillary Knight.
Also in the first period, her puck pursuit and the willingness to not give up that puck. From the goal line, she tries to pass it through, and then next thing you know, she's passing it to herself, and it's in the back of the net. A bit of a debatable whistle. They didn't know what time it had actually blown, but it was called a good call, a good goal, and Malte never gave up on that puck. When there's physicality, Malte will be there. If there's a shot block, Malte will be there. If there's a loose puck, she will be finding lanes. She will be picking up sticks. she's always creating opportunities.
And the action didn't disappoint either with some early chances.
Emrance Mashmeyer once again was fantastic, keeping her team in it. Ottawa with a pair of breakaways home the penalty kill, looking for the jailbreak. They are denied not once, but twice. Desbiens with a couple big saves of her own. But it is all about the power play for Montreal. Catherine Dubois gets the first one. Ottawa responds. Cheyenne Darkangelo on the doorstep gets the tip on this one. This goal is going to stand to make it 1-1, but once again, it is a power play marker. Katie Taven with the one-timer to beat Mashmeyer, and that's how it stands. Montreal takes this victory 2-1. Well, we're looking at a couple of really good goalies here, but we had some really nice moves too. Hannah Brandt, little hesitation, and then she rips this one upstairs. Weren't even sure if that one went in post to post. Bilka, why not have herself a game? Nice forehand, backhand, again, upstairs, right under the crossbar. Susanna Tapani with the last one, another really nice move. Little hesitation as she pulls this puck over, hesitate, and then finds the back of the net to give Boston the win. There, she's playing as the 13th forward, so she's on a line that is different every time she steps on the ice. All sorts of different line mates, and she's getting it done. Big hits, nice passes, getting in on the forecheck. Little bit of physicality of her own as well. She's finding ways to get on the score. She takes a big hit there too from Renata Fast, but hey, she's fine, comes back out, and what she do, she gets, at the time, looked like it was going to be the game winner. Toronto, of course, comes back, and she's got to be the hero again in the shootout. On the first to get themselves back into this game. First one is a 5-on-3. What an opportunity to get themselves on the board. Hannah Bilko with this blast to beat Renee Desbiens. That puts the score at 2-1. You can start to feel that things are building for Boston, and they're able to do it again. Next time it's Susanna Tapani in front of the net. They put this puck up to Megan Keller. She gets that shot through. Tapani gets the tip on that puck. Again, gets it past Desbiens for the second power play goal, and that knots things at 2.
But it's always going forward, and that's why she's so successful creating offense. Now, that's a goal in any league. That is some shot. As she came in and went short side high on a 35-foot snipe. New York on a good breakout. A little traffic to go to the front of the net. Alex Scotland is back in the lineup after missing 4 games. Quickly gets reacquainted with the scoreboard. It was 3-1 at that point. And then it once again, filler time, throws the puck to the front of the net, deflected off a toe in front, allowed Gosling to pick up these slow rolling.
You know, she's a player that's going to take this personally when they're losing games and they're not doing what they need to do. So she goes out and she is energized, throwing hits, making plays, both offensive end of the ice and the defensive end of the ice. She was very good, invisible all night long. Beautiful chance right off the face-off, being creative. Of course, it didn't hurt that she also had the game-winning goal to put them up 3-2. Ultimately, they win this one 4-2. A great game for the captain and
games, and it was a laser.
She knew exactly where she wanted to shoot that puck, and if you leave Sarah Fillier down Broadway, she is going to capitalize on that chance. So for New York to get up in the first period, that was important, but Lauren Gable for the Boston Fleet had that corner picked from a mile away, it seemed, but another player who doesn't get a lot of ice time or games, but that didn't hold her back, and Jessie Eldridge for the Sirens, always crashing the net, always ready with
on the season, and again, playing a really good Boston Fleet team who's looking to climb the standings, coming off that shootout win, and Boston tested her early. They got the quick goal from Hannah Bilka, and then a second goal scored by Shane Maloney that was overturned for goaltender interference, and Maddie Rooney continued to battle through all of that. Even though she got shaken up a little bit early, she stood tall the rest of the way out and gave her team a chance to win this one. And Taylor Heisey said in the post-game interview, you know, when you've got a goal
for 2 goals, and in doing so as well, elevated their physicality. As you see, Captain Zandy Hart and Captain Marie-Philippe Poulin getting locked in some huge hits all around the ice too, as Taylor Gerard and Marie Murphy kind of go at it, and this last one, a couple of them led to penalties, but some of them were just a little bit behind the play, kind of motions flaring, and
just a gorgeous goal. Sarah Fillier notices that there's a change happening. She sends it the length of the ice, and what does Eldridge do? She just goes bar down in the tightest of areas. Take another look. Watch where Eldridge's skates are. They're on the goal line. Her stick is, she has no room, and somehow finds the space and is able to score
and end this game.
Ellie Monroe gets the first one, her first of the season. She gets herself down low. This is a defender, but she's going to clean up some of the garbage in front and puts this one past Truly as well. And then it's Maggie Connors. 59 seconds later, she gets in behind all the D quick up to her. She's in all alone. Forehand, backhand, beats Truly, sends Truly from the net. Debut. What a game she had, using her speed, getting in, getting shots on the forecheck, on the back check, shooting from everywhere. I mean, she was a force in almost every shift she had. And then, of course, continuing her point streak and getting on the board, not once, not twice, but 3 points in this game. 2 goals and an assist, capped it off with this empty netter. Like I said, she's on a 5.
Really, the story of this day, too, though, belongs to that lady. Klara Peshlarova came on in relief of Edmund Soderberg after the first period and was perfect, Gigi.
She was coming in after she mentioned, just had an orange and was told, hey, I'm going in the game. She got into the moment very quickly. Excellent work stopping this dominant offensive.
Sum it all up quickly. Late in the first period, power play for New York, but here comes Alina Mueller shorthanded.
Just a great move as she goes far side on the breakaway chance. Great puck protection, and Alina Mueller just doing Alina Mueller things. She's on fire. Here's Hannah Bilka. Great goal. Shooting through traffic. Schroeder can't see it because of the net front presence by Toppany. But New York, again, they battle back. It's third period. In a span of 3 minutes, Ella Shelton on the back door puts her team on the scoreboard, and just a little bit later, Abby Rock across with a pulled goal lead, and Ella Shelton, her second goal of the night, and able to.
But she probably prevented about 9. And in overtime, she was unbelievable. Jessie Eldridge, so dangerous. Big glove save there. Abby Rock sneaks behind the defense. Bourbonnais with a huge home run pass. Here comes Rock, tries to go to the same area. And another huge save by Hensley as Rock started to pull her. And then Rock, with another breakaway attempt, round 2, comes in, tries to go through the goaltender. Hensley can't do it. And she gets the first star, and she was tremendous.
33 saves for Hensley, another 3 in the shootout. And Minnesota moves to 12.
Play, she takes the ice that's given, walks out, and finds the back of the net. 1-0 Toronto. They make it 2-0 on the first goal of her career, on the first shot of her career. Jessica Condas, what a beautiful snipe. 2-0 Toronto. It's Lauren Gable, her first of the season on the power play. She gets 1-2, whacks at it, and she beats Reagan Kirk. It's all Toronto again after that, though. 2-on-1, Emma Woods. This is not her first of the season, but she makes this one look easy. She goes top shelf. Callie Flanagan gets the empty netter, reads that pass, jumps in, finds the back of the net to put Toronto up 4-1. It's a late goal by Hannah Bilka. Her first.
Felt like more. New York had plenty of great chances, and Mashmeyer does a great job between the pipes again.
They did, and she was ready for everything. This was off a turnover right behind her net, and she quickly was able to locate the puck. And some of these, where there was traffic, there was 4 or 5 players around her. She is such a calming presence. It's no wonder that she's able to have such a high workload, because she can handle this like a pro. And so here's another look at point-to-point, down low to Jessie Eldridge. This was literally with 30 seconds left in the game to keep the score.
Did have a bunch of really good looks, some help from some posts. There's one. What a great play by Emma Greco to keep that puck out of the net after it hits the post. Marie-Philippe Poulin was the shot taker on that one. They had a crossbar by Barnes. Boom! That one rattled off and hard. So a little bit of puck luck for Boston, and once again in the overtime they had another good look in Montreal. This time it's Laura Stacey. She's ended one in overtime before. She puts the burners on, goes to the net. She's a big, strong player. She was using her size and strength. I love this play. Comes into the corner, battles one player, then battles 2. She wins this puck, gives her team an offensive opportunity by beating 2 players in the corner. She did that all over the ice all night, and that is ultimately what led to the 2 assists that she was able to get. Winning the battles, throwing pucks to the net, following up, throwing the body, all the things that you expected this young rookie to do when she came into the league. Takes a little bit of time, though, to make that transition, and she made it tonight. Bull in a china shop at times. I love the game that she played.
Toronto, 2 goals in this one, and the first one was kind of an awkward one. Just the wraparound play, backhand floater over the glove of Gwyneth Phillips in her first start here in the PWHL, and what a way to get back in the scoring column for Kelly Panic, and then she would add another one on a beauty of a shot there to make it 2 goals on the night for Kelly Panic. She led the team in assists last year and only had 4 goals, so she's more of a playmaker than a scorer, but that wasn't the case here tonight. She was able to get the job done offensively on a goal as well.
Love this little chip in by Mueller. Puts it behind the New York defense, allows Toppany to come in and force a mistake, and then Mueller is just in a great spot on the rebound. Mueller set up Knight, picking the puck out of a scrum. Instead of trying to put the puck, force it into a hard area, she chips it off the wall. Good little area pass, and there was Knight just drilling it home when she knew she had daylight. Then she finishes it off here with the empty netter. A really
offense lately. Kristen Campbell up to the task.
Campbell early on had to make a couple of really big saves. Then after that, she just had to be really good, and she was. Not a lot of big rebounds, kept the crease pretty clean, nice and stable. She plays a calm game in there, which I think is great for her defenders in front of her, because if she's not panicking, they're not panicking. So it was just a real good, efficient effort for her. 23 saves in the game. And
Also has to be confidence and control in both goaltenders, and Kristen Campbell was up to the task tonight. She did not let up a lot of rebounds. She was sliding well, but most importantly, she saw the puck coming. The Sceptres defenders did a really nice job of clearing out in front of the net, making sure that those lanes were open so she could trap that puck. She looked calm, she looked collected, and I'm sure this win was very, very sweet.
Saves for number 30, and this Toronto team had some really good chances.
Yes, they were outstanding. There was 3 breakaways alone that Toronto had, and Corrine Schroeder just stayed tall. She stayed firm in her crease and was able to battle through no matter who was in front of her net. And so she did an excellent job, and their team as a whole did a great job defensively in front of her.
Now leads the league.
Most poignant parts of the action. We thought that Minnesota actually struck first here. It was called a good goal on the ice. Kelly Panic, however, hit it with a high stick, and so it was called no goal. We play on, still in the first period. The puck just comes around, and Peyton Levis is right there.
This is a how do you do goal.
Surprise, yes.
Picks up the goal as New York caught Minnesota a little flat-footed here, caught the goaltender Rooney a little flat-footed.
Came up big for this team, held them in. It all smiles before the game, but she was all business when she got on the ice, making the easy saves look easy, but making some of the tough ones look easy too. She kept this team in it. She allowed them to have the chance to win, and she's the backup goaltender. She's playing behind a goalie in Corrine Schroeder. It's tough to get starts when you got someone like that ahead of you, but she made a case for herself and shows the depth of goaltending for this New York team. Montreal coming in relief against New York, and then again here tonight. She wasn't overly busy at times, but she did have some big saves to make to keep her team in this game and give them the opportunity to win. It's all about timely saves for goaltenders, and she gave them exactly that. When it was scoreless, when it was a 2-1 game, she came up big, gave her team the opportunity to go down the other end of the ice and get that lead, and ultimately the win. Big game for this rookie goaltender.
They dominated the play, had all sorts of looks, had the offensive zone time. They made one mistake though. They threw that pass through the middle of the ice, and Susanna Toppany was able to walk in all the way down the ice and fire blocker side to beat Emirates Mashmeyer, pick up the 2 points for Boston, and catapult them up the standings.
Second game-winning goal of the season for off very well for the Minnesota Frost. They came in waves. And how about Kendall Coyne-Schofield sticking with it, making a nifty little move, and getting the Frost on the board first with her 7th of the season. Then a crazy play as Brook within Minnesota. Skip ahead now to the second period. And show Sonia
that out a little bit, and they did tonight. Claire Thompson with this shot. It's Liz Shepherds on the 4th line, and that 4th line had a good game. They get on the board first, and then it's Shisheva. She has a pair in this game, 2-on-1. So you know you're going to get production from Coyne-Schofield. She got on the board as well, but it's Shisheva with 2, it's Shepherds with 1, it's depth scoring, and they
A lot of offense, but some spectacular goaltending. Like you said, it's Ottawa that gets on the board first. Jocelyn Larocque with that shot into traffic. Victoria Bach, the 2 players that just just got traded here, getting on the board. Got to feel great for them. Boston comes back down the ice, though, and it's Sydney Morin on a goal that was set up and started by Alina Mueller, a player that really needed to get...
That gave room for Montreal to get their legs under them. Coming off of a break, they come down the ice, 2-on-1. Ouch. That one's gotta hurt. Marie-Philippe Poulin gets them on the board. Jen Gardner, what a game she had. Best of her young career. She snipes that one. Got a goal and assist already on the night. Power play goal. Poulin gets her second.
Who is able to tie things up in the third. Great play in the corner, drives the net, gets the backhand, turns in the forehand. And again, Reagan Kirk making the initial save, just can't make the second one. They go into overtime. This is a quick overtime. Poulin to Stacey. Stacey in forehand to backhand, and she ends this one in a hurry. Montreal takes the 2 points. Toronto can only walk away.